People ask me if I have any advice for buying ribeye in the form of a long primal, an uncut whole primal. That's the way you should buy it if you can. If you have enough people eating from it, or you yourself will eat from it, or you slice it and you can freeze it, you're okay with frozen meat. I tend to be better with fresh meat than frozen, but anyways. Okay, so what you do is you buy it whole, and you buy a case of them if you can. It's even cheaper that way. It depends how you buy. If you buy from local farmers or places on the internet, or whatever you decide as far as your source of beef. Untrimmed fat, if at all possible. If you cannot get it untrimmed of fat, then try to find a place you can go and have them, the butcher, save steak fat trimmings for you. This is a very good idea to have whole fat on hand if you can. Okay, another tip is when you look at an entire cryovac of a primal. So this would be like around 18 to 22 pounds. Sometimes they can be bigger, sometimes they can be smaller, they can be shorter, fatter, all that stuff. They vary, they're cows, so each one's gonna be different. If it's boneless, you can kind of see the fat cap through the plastic, sort of. So you want to look for enough of that, if at all possible. Sometimes you can tell. And another thing is, if you find that it's wobbly, then that means there's not a whole lot of fat. If it's more stiff as you hold it in your hand, that means that there's more fat. And the more fat, I think, the better. Usually that's why people buy the ribeye, so that they can get that nice amount of fat in that's attached fat. So that's just a couple of things that I suggest you pay attention to if you are especially wanting a lot of fat. You also want to make sure that each one of those cryovacs does not have any holes, no leaks, because you don't want to have a small little bit of air exposure that gets in there and then the whole thing completely changes as far as it fermenting itself and creating a bacterial issue. You don't want that. Okay, so buy them whole if you can. See if they're wobbly. Make sure they're closed. And get steak fat trimmings if you need to, wherever you are. I know that sometimes it's hard to get. So those are some tips that I have. Hopefully that helps. Write in the comments if you have any other questions. I'll try to answer them.